Well, this is really a fun farm tour. They've got pigs and chickens and sheep and little piglets.
But we were finding some challenges of them either hopping it or whatever. So we're trying out like running them in the nets right now.
The multi-species rotational grazing also means multi-fence.
Yes.
Because the different animals respect different kinds of fences.
Right. Yeah, like the cattle are really good with just like one strand of poly about like this tall, and the sheep, I mean, it sort of depends on how long their fleece is and some different.
The wool sheep, because of the fleece and how it grows out, it's less likely that they get shocked.
And Dorpers?
Katahdin and Dorpers, they were traditionally in Africa where it's warmer, so they, through evolution, gave up their fleece for hair, which they grow in the winter for warmth, but they shed in the summer to stay cooler. So it's actually a nice fit for our climate here.
Right.
Cut it off for however many you want.
Every time I'm like, I gotta get rid of this goose, and then I'm like, well, she's actually doing her job here, so.
So does your golden goose find that just being alone doesn't need a mate to hang out with?
It used to have a mate, and unfortunately the mate passed away. He was, like, both of those geese are pretty old, like at least like 6 or 7 years old. Talked about trying to introduce her to a mate, but yeah, that might be one of the reasons why she's a little grumpy.
We have this interesting area behind us that also throws a wrench in a rotational grazing system, because this area is wet a lot of the time, very wet in the winter time, and so that changes how and when it can be grazed. We also pointed out the hummocks before, these little mounds. That limits what animals are going to be able to graze on this area as well.
They're usually ant mounds, and the ants will build up out of the water and live in the hummocks.
The first year I was here, this place was like covered with tansy. Like, we're not seeing a whole lot of tansy anymore. I think there was the rotational grazing mostly because I think that if I understand correctly, like tansy is a 2-year plant, and so like if it's not overgrazed, it doesn't really get enough energy. I mean, sheep can kind of eat it, but it's not that they were eating it so much as like the land wasn't just continuously grazed year round, and so like there was just more grass left to kind of crowd out the tansy. Another weed like we've always had problems with is like foxtail barley. We've seen thistle. The thistle comes like anywhere that the land's just been like really disturbed by pigs, and so we just have to stay on top of that. So far we're just kind of mowing it and trying to make sure we put stuff down to not have like the bare spots. And then I mean blackberries, and we've made some headway with blackberries just using the animals, just having more controlled grazing.
Tell me the benefit of having these little mounds here. Habitat?
No, I don't like them.
It's just a natural thing that happens in a wetland. Some people will come through with a disc or a land plane and level them off. I mean, they don't hurt anything other than Jenny's not going to be able to drive a tractor over very easily. You know?
Yeah.
Encourage farmers to introduce some habitat or boxes for birds, with the idea that we can create these corridors throughout the country for migrating birds, and then just for birds that kind of hang around year round. It's a digital trail online, so people are inputting their farm name and what kind of boxes or structures they've got, and then you can look at it.
Take care of different areas of the pasture differently because they have different soils, they get different sunlight exposure, so you assess them differently as well. We were out here
during the growing season, so you put on the amount of nitrogen you need to support that crop growth for that season. Phosphorus and potassium is not as mobile in the soil, and organic amendments have really high phosphorus and really high potassium and low nitrogen. So if you've been doing years of organic amendments, chances are you don't need phosphorus or potassium. You're looking for a low nitrogen. In organic setting, nitrogen is one of the more expensive elements to add to it. So thinking about legumes, trying to get some of that atmospheric nitrogen into the soil is a good strategy. The soil testing isn't expensive compared to what you get out of it. And Penny mentioned the pH. That makes a big difference on what grows where, because grass is kind of shut off when you hit a pH of 5. And then a lot of your weedy species have no problem still growing in that acidic soil. I mean, soil tests, they're like $65, and they give you a lot of information.
Blackberries used to like kind of look about that height, like all through here.
Sure.
And it was almost to the point where like hardly used the space at all. And the pigs didn't do it all. Like we did do some like work with some tractor machinery to like knock it down, but the pigs have helped keep it back.
Yeah, you are huge. I'm a little afraid of you. You guys are adorable. Whoa, big mama. Dang.